In this episode, we're talking about how to write thought leadership articles. Most articles online disappear almost immediately after they're published. Nobody reads them, nobody finds them, nobody shares them. And yet businesses continue pouring enormous amounts of time and money into writing articles every week. Why? Most people are writing content that nobody was searching for in the first place. But meanwhile, there are many articles quietly generating traffic, leads, authority, and clients for years. Not virality, not trends, not constant promotion, just evergreen discoverability. So what's the difference? Why do some articles become long-term authority assets while most content becomes invisible almost immediately? That's what this episode is all about. A lot of people think that thought leadership articles are supposed to sound impressive, sophisticated, corporate, or highly polished, but that's often why they fail, because the goal of thought leadership writing is not to sound smart. The goal is to become discoverable and trusted by the right audience. So that changes everything about how you should write. In this episode, I'm going to break down the exact framework I use to create thought leadership articles that actually generate long-term authority, search visibility, and referral quality leads. One of the biggest misconceptions about content marketing is the belief that publishing alone creates visibility. Well, it doesn't. There are millions of articles online that will never be read. And the reason's simple. Nobody searched for them. Most businesses create articles based on what they want to say, what sounds interesting, what feels creative, what trends are happening right now. But thought leadership works differently. Thought leadership starts with search behavior. What are your dream clients already asking online? Because if people are already searching for answers, then there's already a demand for the content before you ever create it. So that changes the entire strategy. One of the most important shifts in thought leadership writing is this: write answers, not articles. Most articles are structured like essays, but thought leadership content should be structured like solutions. The best thought leadership articles are built around specific questions your audience is actively searching for. So not broad topics, not vague inspiration, but specific search intent. Questions that people asked 5 years ago, questions that people are asking today, and questions that people will be asking years from now. That is what creates evergreen infrastructure. One of the reasons thought leadership articles work long-term is because the underlying search demand stays existing. The problem doesn't expire. The challenge doesn't disappear. People continue needing help. That's why evergreen search intent is so valuable. You're not creating content for temporary attention. You're creating searchable assets that continue helping people over time. This is one of the biggest differences between thought leadership content and trend-based content. Trend-based content spikes, but then it disappears. Evergreen content compounds over time. One of the biggest changes I've made in my strategy over the years is realizing that video should come first. If you create a YouTube video answering the question and then turn that into an article, the results are dramatically stronger than writing standalone articles. I've seen a 50-to-1 difference. So why is that? Because Google increasingly favors multimedia experiences. YouTube itself is the largest content search engine in the world. And when you combine searchable video with searchable written content, you create a much more powerful authority asset. I've seen cases where embedding a YouTube video at the top of an article increased the traffic massively compared to a text-only blog. And when I did a comparison to a blog post versus a YouTube video, the YouTube video got 50 times more views. I'm recommending combining the strategy. Start with video, embed that video at the top of a blog page, write the blog post below it, and publish both. You'll rank at the top of YouTube, you'll rank at the top of Google with your video and your blog post, and you'll be recommended by ChatGPT. The structure itself matters. Most generic articles sound robotic because they're overly polished and emotionally empty. Real authority writing feels human. It feels experienced. It feels grounded and useful. You have your bias in there. A strong thought leadership article usually includes a clear question and a practical answer, specific examples and stories and case studies. So share your perspective, share your bias, share your experience, share the transformation that you've helped create. And this is important. Your opinion matters, your perspective matters, your real world experience matters, because that's what separates authority from generic AI generated info. One of the fastest ways to make written content feel authoritative is through stories and case studies, not just because stories are entertaining, but because they prove your expertise. People trust demonstrated experience far more than theory. So when you explain what happened and what failed, what changed and what worked, what the client experienced, your expertise becomes tangible. This is especially important today because surface level information is everywhere. Authority comes from nuance and application. Avoiding generic AI content is becoming more important every year. AI generates information instantly. Generic summaries are becoming worthless. So what makes content stand out today? Well, again, it's your experience, it's your bias, your perspective, your specificity, and case studies, real-world application. One of the biggest mistakes people are making is stripping personality of these articles because they think that professionalism means sounding neutral. But neutrality is forgettable today. Your biases help people understand how you think. Your perspective helps your dream clients connect with you emotionally. So when someone resonates with your thinking repeatedly, then trust will naturally develop. Now, another reason why thought leadership articles fail is because they become too promotional. The audience immediately feels like they're being sold to. And once that happens, they put up their defenses. They don't want to be sold, they want help. So that's why educational content builds authority so effectively, especially when someone searched for the answer. Now you're not just interrupting them, you're helping them. You're helping them solve a problem that they already care deeply about. So this helps build a relationship before they see your promotional content. And that relationship is what eventually generates referral quality leads. One of the clearest signals of expertise in writing is your specificity. Beginners write broadly, but experts write specifically. Experts understand nuance, patterns, exceptions, and details. That's why highly specific question-based articles often outperform broad content commercially. The right audience immediately recognizes, hey, this person understands exactly what I'm dealing with. Trust is created quickly, and trust is the foundation of thought leadership. One of the biggest mindset shifts that you're going to have to make is that you're not writing temporary content, but you're building a searchable infrastructure. Every article becomes another entry point into your expertise ecosystem, another opportunity to rank, another opportunity to build trust, another one to generate leads. And over time, these videos and articles begin reinforcing each other. The more comprehensively you've answered topics in your category, the stronger your authority becomes, and that is category ownership. Most businesses never experience this because they create content randomly, whatever feels interesting that week, whatever trend is happening, whatever topic they feel inspired to discuss. But thought leadership writing is strategic. It starts with search behavior and then builds systematic coverage around that category. That's why some businesses quietly dominate entire niches online, while others consistently chase attention without ever getting traction. Now, let's talk about the future of thought leadership. What's fascinating is that AI and search behavior are making thought leadership writing more important, not less. People are asking more detailed questions than ever before. Search engines and AI systems are increasingly recommending expert-driven educational content. As information becomes easier to generate, trustworthy expertise becomes more valuable. This means the future belongs to experts who can teach clearly, share real experience, answer very specific questions, build searchable authority, and create trust at a big scale. The real goal of thought leadership articles is not traffic alone. It's not sounding intelligent. It's not impressing other experts. The real goal is being discovered and trusted by the right people. That's what creates authority. That's what's going to generate referral quality leads. And that's what turns educational content into a long-term business asset. The internet increasingly rewards searchable expertise. I'm excited to show you what this actually looks like in the real world, how experts in industries like annuities or parenting or peptides or law or real estate investing, how they've used evergreen content that's educational to dominate their category. You can see all these examples in my next episode, Thought Leadership Examples. In that episode, I break down real case studies showing how searchable expertise, strategic positioning, and evergreen content compounds into authority and lead generation over time. I'll see you there.